Greetings, all ye Gentile folk of the seven-headed golden trough. This is your good friend Deadpoolzilla, and I'm here with ZazuBaar.
Hey guys.
Yes, a lot of you guys actually wanted us to work together. It's not an alien concept. We've worked together twice already on 2 Doctor Who videos.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking for a lot of other times before that, so this is not necessarily new for us.
Well, it's like new in the sense that now you're on my channel.
Very true. It's an alien landscape here. It's a brand new terrain for me.
Yes.
Much like my channel, it'll be raped and pillaged.
And I do hope Milan Jeftik enjoyed that little homage to him in the beginning.
He'll love it, trust me. He just loves having his ego stroked.
So, for those who remember, the last 2 videos I did were another top 10 list where I talked about, since IDW is like a crack addict with all their Mars Attacks crossovers, and I did a top 10 list of basically what Mars Attacks crossovers I'd like to see. And my number 1 was Mars Attacks all of Cartoon Network as like a little event like they did with Mars Attacks IDW. So I kind of captured ZazuBaar and convinced him this is a good idea, we can do a whole video about this. And it's basically us talking about what would happen if these fucking little Martians showed up to wreck some shit in little one-shots for each of the Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah. So, ZazuBaar, you're the guest here, so which Cartoon Network one would you like to see the Martians go head-to-head with, and what ideas we can play around with that?
Alright, the one that immediately jumped out to me is like, this makes a lot of sense. Mars Attacks Samurai Jack.
Oh, that's a good one. So, what would you think the story would be of Mars Attacks Samurai Jack?
I don't imagine it would be very difficult to get them together. I mean, you could basically... I'm not terribly familiar with the later stuff of Samurai Jack. I watched it really early on, and then it just kind of lost my attention. But, basically, I know the premise is, like, he gets thrown through time and stuff. So, it would just make a lot of sense, in my opinion, if he got thrown into the time... into a time period where the Martians have, like... Maybe the Martians have an occupation of Earth or something.
Yeah.
Or they're like it's like right in the middle of a Martian invasion and he has to fight the Martians and they're just like, why is there a samurai here?
Yeah. Well, the idea I had was that the Martians have been existing on Mars. They're under Aku. You remember Aku, his archenemy. They've been under his grip, and Aku calls them to fight Jack. And they're like, well, what the fuck do we get out of it? And Aku replies, you can get a chunk of Earth. You can live on here. You don't have to be my slaves anymore. You can be free. So the Martians are like, fuck yeah, let's kill this guy.
There you go. Yeah, that makes more sense, and I like bringing Aku into it. Wouldn't it be amazing if it was like they mixed the Martian technology with like his magic and shit?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like they're trying to use Aku's magic to their technology, but the Martians keep fucking it up.
Shit keeps exploding. There's just like a montage of them trying to mix together like these like badass technological weapons and shit, and they just keep blowing up. every time they try to use one on Jack, it just like fucking blows up in their face.
Yeah, but it would be cool to see like I think Jack would have this look of, these are the most disgusting creatures I've ever encountered.
He just throws up off panel when he sees one.
Yeah. And I think it would be great, like, the Martians, when they first, like, a squad of Martians encounter Jack, they're like, we gotta kill this guy? This is gonna be easy. And then one of them then you just see a panel of, like, a little glint of the sword, and the Martian's just standing there, and then he just suddenly slides apart.
Yeah, because it's just like, he pops up, he's got no shirt on, he's got a sword, he's got a funny hairdo, so the Martians are laughing at him, and then they just all charge him. Or no, one of them is just like, I got this, guys. Just stand back. Let me take care of this. He cracks his hands, goes forward, gets fucking butchered.
Yeah, like he's standing, he sees something, like a little glint of his sword, and then he looks down and both of his arms just slowly fall off with his gun still holding on to it.
And it would be great if only one comes back to HQ, and it's like covered in Martian blood, and the Martian commander's like, what happened? And he's just like, Jack, and then he gets cut in half, and then Jack just rushes it.
Yeah, and they're all just screaming it, and you don't see it, but all you hear is the Martian screaming, and then, like, off-panel, you're looking outside the base, and you just see Martian blood spray all over the window.
That would be fucking great. Appropriate for children.
Yeah, for kids.
Indeed, very much so.
So that's really all I got for, like, a one-shot of Mars Attacks Samurai Jack.
Yeah, I don't think you need more than that. I mean, that show pretty much did standalone episodes with similar concepts, so I don't think you have to do more than one shot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick out one. Mars attacks Johnny Bravo.
Oh, cool. I love Johnny Bravo.
How I would do it is, like, you remember in the Mars Attacks movie they had one of the Martians pose as a woman?
Yeah.
Well, I would have them, like, she's trying to infiltrate, like, a seat of government, and Johnny finds her and starts hitting on her and, like, oh yeah, sexy alien mama.
yeah. And, he just, like, seduces her away from the throne.
Yeah.
You know what'd be hilarious?
What was that?
Because in the movie, she obviously, what, did she kill the dude, or just, I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. Just something unpleasant to him. Would it be funny if Johnny seduces the Martian away from the Martians?
Well, I think, like, how I would do it is, like, the Martian is trying to play along with it because it thinks that Johnny's a person in power. And they take him to the Martian ship, he doesn't realize it, and he just fucks up. He stops an invasion without even knowing it.
Yeah. Or even better, what if, like, these Martians, like, the only planet they ever conquered, all of the positions of power had hair, and that was a symbol of power? So they look at Johnny and they're like, he's got big hair, that must mean some power.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta give credit to the Martians themselves. They're a lot smarter than we're giving them, but they can be stupid in the movie as well.
That's what makes them is, like, they're so easy, they can conquer Earth so easily, but they can be so fucking blind to certain things.
Yeah. But that was the thing, like, with I would just make it this whole comedy sketch of Johnny, stopping an alien invasion. He just thinks he's at a sci-fi convention, he's looking for Carl, and he's blowing up everything. He's ruining an entire Martian invasion of Earth.
Yeah, that would be great. Just, like, it would make so much sense for him to have it happen by accident. Because you got two kind of, like, and you're right, the Martians are not complete retards, but they're still, not the sharpest tools in the galactic shed. So it just kind of like a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
With just, like, both sides just completely falling apart and then winning by accident.
Yeah. So that's my idea for Mars Attacks Johnny Bravo. What about you, ZazuBaar? What's your next one?
Alright. Just as someone who had a lot of nostalgia for this as growing up. Mars Attacks Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Thank you!
Oh my god.
Out of all of them, this works the most.
Oh, it makes so much sense, because that's all that show is fucking about. It's just like this kind of shit happening and no one believes the dog. So it's like, obviously, it wouldn't be that hard to set up. It's just like it writes itself. Just like the Martians come down. The Mars comes down. No, that sounds stupid. The Martians come down. And they're just like, they just start doing shit. And Courage just, like, is constantly just, like, trying to alert his owners that just, like, this is happening, and obviously they don't believe him. And then obviously you'd have to get to a point where the Martians are trying to do something to the woman, like, I don't know, maybe she thinks that they're, like, maybe it's like, it takes place on Halloween, and the Martians come up to their house because they need something from them, and they pretend to be trick-or-treaters, and the woman falls for it. And Courage has to save her, and that's just the whole issue.
Yeah. Like, it's a Martian reconnaissance team, and they're setting up some kind of device that will decimate Earth. And,
yeah, exactly.
And they lost an important compartment to their machine, and Courage took it thinking it's like a shiny toy, and Eustace now has it, like, oh, this is going to get me a lot of money. And the Martians are like, fuck, we got to get that back.
Yeah, exactly. It makes so much sense. It's hysterical, because it's like, I just remember watching that show as a kid, and, like, you get, like, Godzilla references in there and stuff. It makes so much sense. Yeah.
And, like I said, like we kind of agreed on, this one, like, out of all the Mars Attacks Mars Attacks Cartoon Network, this one makes, like you said, it writes itself, because the Martians fit so well in that universe.
Oh, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think it'd just be great, like you said, it would just be like this fun little Halloween where they're trick-or-treating. It would be funny, like, Eustace comes up to the door, like, trick-or-treaters, bunch of beggars, slams the door. One of the Martians like, fuck this, and just zaps the door down.
Yeah, exactly. It writes itself. It makes so much sense.
Yeah. So any other ideas for that?
For Courage, I think that really the whole issue could just be comprised of, Courage, like, you'd start out with that kind of situation, but then go into Courage trying to save, what's the woman's name?
Muriel.
Muriel's life from the aliens, and it's just like, he just gets he has to work up his fear and shit. I just think it'd be great. But in terms of other cartoons that I think would fit in with the Martians,
is it cool if I go?
Oh, sure, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
My next pick for Mars Attacks Cartoon Network with my idea for Mars Attacks Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Oh, alright.
My idea is that one of the Martian saucers crashes outside of Foster's home, the orphanage for imaginary friends. And the Martians get out and they're like, we just wrecked the ship, damn it! And they're completely off course, they're lost, and they need to find, they need to salvage stuff to, rate it to help get their communications back up so they can call in the other Martians to get them out of there. Well, they wander, I'd say there's only 4 survivors from the wreck.
Yeah, you don't need more, you don't need more than 4.
And the 4 of them go and they find themselves at Foster's and they're like, what the hell's all this stuff? And then they get this brilliant idea to pretend they're imaginary friends so they can get the right stuff. And Blue and Mac are like, these guys aren't imaginary friends. Someone has to believe us.
Yeah, it just makes, maybe they recognize them from somewhere or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How I would do it is how they believe they're really aliens is they spent all night watching 50s sci-fi alien movies.
Yeah, and it's just it works so well. They just co-align with that and look so well. No, but yeah, I didn't even think of that one. That one works really well. But when you mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah, it's they pretend they're imaginary friends, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think that'd be cool as well. I think it'd be kind of a reverse situation where usually people are reacting to them that they're hideous and shit, but they'd see the imaginary friends and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're just completely grossed out, and then when they get the communications back up, this would be toward the end of the one-shot, where they call in the other Martians and be like, you gotta check this out, man.
It's dude, this is some fucked up shit down here. Let's get the fuck out of here.
They call them back, and then they get another Martian squad because they want to experiment on the imaginary friends.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes this all-out comedic brawl between the Martians and the imaginary friends.
I have an off-topic question.
Shoot.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen Fosters. Are they physical, tangible creatures?
Technically, yes. Last time I checked.
Okay. Because I was always curious about that. I'm like, could I shoot one? And I know that sounds dark for a kid's show, but just if I were to shoot one, would it die?
Yeah, they can I've seen them get hurt, so yeah, they're tangible beings, but like I said, it'd just be this this funny knockout, this funny imaginary friends and the Martians fighting, and just, I would have it Mr. Harriman, Frankie, and, well, Frankie would still be there, but Mr. Harriman and Madame Foster would be out, and they come back, and they see all these, beat-up Martians, and the orphanage is just destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. And they have no idea what happened. They just, it's nothing happened. So, it got a little rowdy. It's okay.
Yeah. Another day in the life.
It really is. I mean, it can't be too much for them if they see.
Yeah. So what's your next idea?
Oh man, there's so many. One that just initially jumped to me would be Mars Attacks Powerpuff Girls.
Alright, how would you do it?
Well, I mean, have they done just straight up aliens in that show before?
Yeah.
Again, it's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, a few times. The biggest one was where they fought alien broccoli.
So, they didn't specifically use Mars, right?
Yeah, last time I checked, they didn't use specifically Mars.
So there you go. Then I think that it kind of writes itself. It's just they show up, and I think what could be interesting is if the Martians try to extract the knowledge of that formula from the professor, just create their own versions of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, they kidnap the professor and they make him do their own version of Chemical X and call it Chemical M.
Yep, and they create Martian versions of the Powerpuff Girls.
And the weird thing is they look like a Martian version of the Powerpuff Girls, and when the girls see it, they oh my god.
Again, one funny thing could be every time they see one, just the main character throws up off panel.
It would probably be Bubbles, or I'm going to puke.
Yeah, exactly.